Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna go over my favorite duo of credit cards. Now I'm someone who loves credit cards. I love the rewards and benefits that I can get from credit cards, and I talk to a lot of people about credit cards. But one thing that I've learned from talking to so many people about credit cards is that most people are not into credit cards. Most people do not want to have a bunch of credit cards in their wallet. Most people just want simplicity. They just want at most to have just a couple credit cards to be able to use, get the benefits or rewards from that, and then not have to worry about all these different credit cards to try to keep track of. Now, while I'm someone who is a fan of doing all of that, I completely understand I'm just trying to have the simple route and trying to make it work out the best for you. So that's the reason why in this video, what I'm gonna do is go over my favorite duo of credit cards with the same issuer, and then hopefully by the end of the video, if you're someone who's looking for just having a couple of credit cards with one issuer, then my recommendations can help you with your decision. Now there's 4 different issuers we're gonna go over in the video. It's gonna end up being Chase, Citi, Capital One, and Amex. Now, the list that I'm coming up with are going to be what I feel are the best options you can end up choosing with these banks. You might have a different opinion of yourself. You can drop it in the comment section down below, but this is going to be my list of what I feel the best 2 cards you can get. So let's start off with Chase. So with Chase, I think that there technically ends up being 2 different options. Now, the first card you're going to want to have with them is going to end up being the Chase Freedom Flex. I think that ends up being a great card to have. And then the second one's going to end up being one of these Sapphire cards. Now, if you're someone who wants to have lounge access, then you're going to have to go with the Chase Sapphire Reserved. This card ends up having a $550 annual fee, but you will end up getting yourself lounge access with this card. Now, the other option ends up being the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which is actually a card I like more. However, if you can only end up having 2 cards, I understand why you'd want to get the Chase Sapphire Reserved for that lounge access. But with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, it comes in at a lower annual fee. And honestly, I feel like this card is pretty strong as compared to the Chase Sapphire Reserved. And I would actually prefer to have that card over the Chase Sapphire Reserved. With the Chase Sapphire Reserved, what you're going to get yourself is going to be 3x back on travel, 3x back on dining, 3x back at drugstores. You're going to get yourself 5x back on rotating categories with your Freedom Flex card. You're going to get yourself 10x back at hotels and car rentals when you end up booking through Chase's Ultimate Rewards travel portal. You're going to get yourself 5x back when you end up booking airfare through Chase's Ultimate Rewards travel portal. You're gonna get 10x back on Lyft, a Gold Puff credit, Instacart Plus membership, DoorDash Dash Pass subscription, Priority Pass lounge access, and then also 50% bonus points when you end up redeeming your points through Chase's Ultimate Rewards, and then also 50% bonus points when ends up being with the Pay Yourself Back feature that is with your Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Now this combo is going to have a $550 annual fee, but you're gonna get yourself a $300 travel credit that you can use each year. Now, as I said in the beginning, I would prefer to have the Chase Sapphire Preferred over the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, this combo only has a $95 annual fee, and this is what I would prefer. But even with that $95 annual fee, you also end up getting yourself a $50 statement credit when you end up booking through Chase's Ultimate Rewards with a hotel. So you can end up getting yourself $50 back and making the effective annual fee only $45. The second combination is going to be with Citi. Now with Citi, I think the best 2 cards to have with them would end up being getting yourself the Citi Custom Cash card, and then also getting yourself the Citi Premier card. Now, these 2 cards are going to give you multipliers, giving you 3x back on dining, 3x back on grocery stores, 3x back on airfare and hotels, 3x back on gas stations, 1x back on all the purchases, and you're gonna get yourself 5x back up to $500 each month in a specific category. Now, the categories that are connected with the custom cash card, some of them are gonna overlap, but what you're gonna get is going to be restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, select travel, select transit, select streaming services, drug stores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, live entertainment. So you'd end up getting 5x back in one of those categories with the custom cash. So there's 2 different ways to play this. What you can end up doing is you can either end up using the custom cash card in a category that you know you're always gonna max out at. So you end up being something like grocery store, which end up overlapping with the Citi Premier card. And then when you end up actually having a month where you have live entertainment that you're gonna go use it at, or on home improvement stores, then you end up using the custom cash in that category, and then end up using the Citi Premier card in the category of grocery stores. But pretty much what you wanna do is make sure that you end up maxing out with that Citi Custom Cash card. So do it in a category where you know you can max out, and then after you can end up getting your 3x back in the other categories. Now this duo with Citi is going to have $95 annual fee, which is actually quite cheap. However, there's not going to be an ability to get yourself lounge access because the Prestige card, which is the card that actually did give out lounge access, is no longer available for you to apply for or do product change to. The next duo is going to be with Capital One. Now, I think the best duo with Capital One is going to end up being getting yourself the Venture X card and also the Saver One card. Now, with these 2 cards, what you're going to end up being able to get yourself is going to be 3x back on dining, 3x back on entertainment, 3x back on popular streaming services, 3x back on groceries, and then 2x back on all the purchases with your Venture X. You also can get yourself 10x multipliers in hotels and car rentals when you end up booking through Capital One's travel portal, and then 5x back when you end up booking airfare through Capital One's travel portal. Now, this combination is going to have a $395 annual fee connected with that Venture X card, but you're going to get yourself a $300 statement credit when you end up booking through Capital One's travel portal, and then you're also going to get yourself 10,000 Venture miles, which can end up being valued at $100. So even though this combo has a $395 annual fee, you're going to end up getting yourself at least $400 in value just from taking advantage of the credits connected with the Venture X card, which ends up making it definitely worth it. And the last combo is going to be with American Express. Now this combo is going to be the American Express Platinum card and also the American Express Gold card. Now these two cards combined are going to give you a $945 annual fee. So this is by far the highest one on this list. But these cards both have a bunch of credits that are connected with them. I'm not going to go over all the credits in this video, but I'll go over the highlighted ones that I feel can end up covering the annual fee. That's going to be the Uber credit. You're going to get yourself a dining credit. You're going to get yourself a digital entertainment credit. You're going to get yourself an airline credit. You're going to get yourself a hotel credit. You're going to get yourself lounge access with Priority Pass and then also Centurion lounge access. You're going to get status with hotels such as Hilton and Marriott. And then also you're going to get yourself the multipliers getting 4x back on dining, 4x back at grocery stores, 5x back on flights booked directly with the airlines, and then you're gonna get yourself 1x back on all the purchases. So when it comes to the multipliers, these ones end up being very high as compared to the other ones on this list. So while this duo does have a high annual fee connected to it, there's so many different benefits that end up coming with these cards. If you end up taking advantage of them, it can definitely cut down that annual fee completely and allow you to rack up a bunch of membership reward points. And also, if you happen to use something like Rakuten, you can get even more membership reward points because instead of getting cash back with Rakuten, you're gonna end up getting yourself membership reward points end up being 1 cent as being 1 point. So if you end up seeing something ends up being 10x back on Rakuten by using Rakuten shopping portal, you're gonna end up getting yourself 10x membership reward points for things you end up purchasing through Rakuten. It allows you to rack up so many membership reward points. I highly recommend Rakuten. I end up getting myself tens of thousands of membership reward points each year from using Rakuten. Now, if you don't happen to already have a Rakuten account, I will have a referral link down below. If you decide to use it, it will give you $30 for your first $30 purchase. So it ends up pretty much being a free $30 item. If you do use my referral link, it will help out the channel and I'd be very thankful for your support. Okay, so now that we've listed each one of these banks' different duos, where do I rank each one of them on the list? Well, one thing I will let you know is that each one of these banks ends up actually having transfer partners, and transfer partners end up being very, very valuable. So that definitely comes into my consideration on where I actually rank them. So even though Citibank ends up giving you some really good multipliers, I'm gonna end up putting them at the bottom of the list because I think that their duo ends up being the weakest. The fact that there isn't even the option to actually get yourself Priority Pass access ends up being a problem. Plus, when it comes to their transfer partners, while I do like some of them, I don't think they're as strong as some of these other partners with these other issuers. Now coming in at third place, and this saddens me to say because I'm a big Chase fanboy, but I think that the Chase duo is gonna end up coming in at third place. Now, the reason for this is because even though I think that Chase ends up having some awesome transfer partners, the duo of having the Chase Sapphire Reserve card and also the Freedom Flex card, I think isn't as strong as the other ones that are above them. The Venture X card is so similar to the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, but it's just, I think, a better version of it. And because of that, ends up making me put Capital One above them. Even though I am really a big Chase fanboy, I do think when you end up comparing them to the other ones on this list, if I had to choose one, it would not end up being the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Chase Freedom Flex. Now coming in at second place is going to end up being the Capital One duo. Having the Venture X card and getting yourself Priority Pass and then also being able to take advantage of the perks that are connected with this card, I think is going to be really beneficial for so many people because the annual fee effectively ends up coming down to being zero or actually maybe even plus money for you if you end up taking advantage of it. Their transfer partners are pretty good, and I think that the earning potential with these cards ends up being very strong. And coming in at first place is going to be the American Express duo. Now, I know that a lot of people end up getting scared away from it because of the $945 annual fee that's connected with these two cards, but you can just end up racking up so many membership reward points from having these cards. And if you can end up taking advantage of those credits with these cards, then that scary annual fee is gonna end up being dropped down to either zero or maybe even giving you positive value from actually having it. You end up getting yourself Priority Pass lounge access and also the Centurion lounge access, and then also you can end up getting yourself Delta Sky Cloud lounge access as long as you're flying with Delta. You just have so many different options with these cards that because of that, if I had to choose having one duo of cards, I'd end up choosing the American Express duo. And then also if you end up adding in Rakuten, you can just get so many membership reward points. Like I've seen people talk about, well, would you rather use your Capital One points or your membership reward points? And for me, I'm always just like, I'll use my membership reward points points on whatever travel I need to do because I end up just getting them so easily. But I'm not even worried about being able to replenish my membership reward points. Now, even though the Amex Duo is the #1 on this list, that is going to be for me. But if I had to recommend one for a person, it would end up being the Chase when it comes to the Freedom Flex and also the Sapphire Preferred. I think that that's going to end up being the best duo for most people because not only is it a low annual fee that ends up becoming even lower if you can take advantage of that hotel credit, but the transfer partners with Chase I think some of the best out there and are easy to get good value from. I think that Chase Ultimate Reward points end up being some of the most friendly points to actually redeem as compared to membership reward points. If you know how to redeem them, you can end up getting great value from them, but if you don't, you can actually end up getting some horrible value from them. With Chase Ultimate Reward points, it's really hard to get bad value from them. So because of that, I think that if I could recommend one duo, it ended up being the Chase Duo with the Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Freedom Flex card. However, if I have to choose a duo on this list, it's going to end up being the American Express Platinum card and the American Express Gold card. But let me know in the comment section down below which duo you actually think is the best one on this list. Now, if you happen to be interested in any of these cards, I will have referral links down below. If you decide to use them, it will help out the channel. I'll be very thankful for your support. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do happen to have any questions, drop them down in the comment section down below and I'll do the best I can to answer them. If you happen to really like this video, then please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.